Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan and thanks for joining us for our Thursday weather update recorded on May the 2nd. We are forecasting an enormous area of high pressure to remain parked over Tasmania for at least another week, and that's going to encourage more west to southwest winds into the New Zealand area. Now look at the setup at the moment, the windiest weather of the next week, pretty much over the country at the moment. Windy sou-westers. It's windy through Auckland. We've got a sou-wester at the bottom of the country, although west to northwest winds around parts of Otago and Canterbury, and southerlies here for central New Zealand around Cook Strait, Wellington and Wairarapa. But generally speaking, the big high just off the screen and the low pressure zone just to the east here around the Chathams, encouraging this windy southwest flow straight out of the Southern Ocean. So that's why temperatures are down a bit today and we're seeing some snow along the Southern Alps in particular. Let's have a look at the setup for this evening. You can see that big high down here and windy conditions across the country, all the lines, the isobars showing that windy southwest flow. Over the next 48 hours, I'll animate it now, you won't see a huge amount of difference except the winds ease in the New Zealand area, but the high itself still very much parked over here towards Tasmania. And that encourages a southwest flow at the bottom of the country, but by Saturday evening, a southeasterly flow starts to kick in for the top half of the North Island. So let's try and break that down for you. Here we are at lunchtime, Friday, New Zealand time, 10:37, good strong high pressure system out there. Still encouraging that airflow up and across the country, but the coldest part of it now moving away from us. Still got a few showers here coming in along the western side of the North Island, one or two clipping other parts to the south of both main islands. By Saturday, those winds ease even further. If you're sitting in a mai on Saturday morning, the winds will be light in many places. There'll be a bit of low cloud, some fog around, and a bit of a southwesterly breeze or southerly breeze still down here in the south. But further to the north, a very light southeasterly developing up here in Northland, calm for many places in between, and a mostly dry day on the way. So rainfall-wise, for the next 48 hours from this evening, shows very little, other than Southland getting sort of peppered by those showers down here. Most places not really seeing very much in the way of wet weather, but there will be a few showers, perhaps briefly heavy, but they're moving along in that southwesterly flow. By Sunday, a new area of high pressure forming out here as the main one actually drifts backwards a bit, it drifts back westwards, and the air pressure drops a little bit as this new one steals some of the energy. So this high forms after our cooler change that we've got right now, and this line of wet weather is actually in between the two in a convergence zone where you've got the northeasterlies coming down here and the southwesterlies coming up here. The two meet, up go the clouds, and you end up with a few areas of downpours and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm or two just around the Auckland area or north of us, maybe up towards the Northland area, and a couple of those showers spread down. Don't lock that in 100%. It's going to move around a little bit over the next couple of days. As we go into next week, the high over here powering back up again, and the other high kind of breaking off and drifting away. That leaves this area in between a little bit sort of in a no man's land. So you can see a few showers that might form across the day. A bit of cloud stuck around the area here. Southerlies coming into Wellington. There's actually a bit of a cooler change that comes back into this lower South Island on Monday. If you're a skier, not much snow. It's cold though, so they can make snow. So that's one of the positives about a neutral season. If you love skiing, there are more chances of cold airflows coming in. So that's a positive. The downside is with these big blocking highs, it limits the amount of moisture. So not a lot of natural snow. They might have to make some of it themselves with the snowmaking machines. And our final map for next week shows this big high still powering back up again as it drifts towards us. As we said in our Climate Watch video yesterday, it's going to dominate our weather in New Zealand, control it for at least the first half of the month of May. So check out the Climate Watch video for yesterday. It explains it quite well. We've got low pressure forming up here, like I say, coming out from the true tropics, well north of Fiji, which is here. This is right up towards the equator. That is dropping down this airflow, forming this low, and that encourages a windier sou'easter between the high and the low. And so it's mostly dry, just a few showers around on Tuesday, but high pressure continues over the South Island. Might be a couple of frosts, but generally speaking, we're actually leaning a little bit warmer than we should be. And that's mostly because we're having a bit of a lack, other than today, a lack of southerlies coming into the country. And even today's southerly is a little bit like this one here. It's coming from south of a high near Australia rather than from down towards Antarctica. That's all from me. Our Australia only forecast, that is out today, taking a look at their rainfall for the next 7 days. If you're interested in that, because it does sort of flow on to us, check it out. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow, Friday, with our next New Zealand update.